guests for joining us today. We have an incredible opportunity here to interview somebody who's very important to our group. First of all, this is Daniel Solino.
I see you guys again.
Yes, and I'm Catherine Knightsby, and you are attending our episode of Live Guest Interview. Today we have Patrick Tierney, who is our growth partner in our marketing group, Fusion Growth Partners. And he's an important part of our team, actually a newer member of our team, but he so far has been wonderful. And we have a lot of great events that he's helping us to organize. We're going to be doing a fundraiser for an animal rescue next weekend, 24th and 25th at PetSmart in Modesto, and some other great ideas he's been really instrumental helping us with. So without further ado, we were so glad you could join us today. Patrick, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, I'm glad I could join you guys as well. So my name, like she mentioned, is Patrick Tierney. I've been working for Fusion Growth Partners since 2017. I've been working with Catherine for maybe a few months now, relatively recent. I really enjoy working with you. I think you have a great mindset. I think you have a great mindset on business. You make a good connection with the people that you meet, and you truly care about them. And so I enjoy all of our conversations that we have.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I should probably mention, I'm born and raised Northern California. Went to school in Northern California. Went to CSU Sacramento. So I don't know if any Hornets are out there. Afterwards, I got engaged in San Jose, and then now I live down in San Diego.
Wow, that's a drastic difference from North California to South California. In fact, the farther south.
Yeah, it sure is. It was a slow migration, but it was definitely a change, especially from Bay Area to Southern California.
That's wonderful. Yeah. I just attended a convention this weekend in San Diego virtually. It was a 12-step program, Origin Anonymous, but I was able to sing at the convention, and I got a lot of great feedback about my singing, which was incredible because it was so wonderful. They didn't recognize me in this. They were like, "Was that really you?" I was like, "Yeah, that was me." I kind of look like a cross-dresser. I was like, well, I kind of look like a man, but I was singing a really low song. So I was thinking maybe they thought I was a man, I wasn't really sure, but it turned out great. So we want to cut away now to our questions, our 5 questions, because it is a short program that we have today. So Daniel's going to start off with the questions. I'm going to let him ask you some really important questions for our audience we think would be of great interest to them.
All right, I'll do the first 2 questions, and you want to do the last 3? Okay, so then the first question I wanted to ask you, Patrick, was what made you want to get into this line of work?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. It's interesting, my progression into this industry. So I went to school for business marketing. My dad, he has always been in business, and my mom was a physical therapist, and her family were engineers, and my dad's family was business. So they owned companies, or they did sales. And so I fell somewhere in between. Prior to working for Fusion, I was working for a medical device company for years. And as much as I enjoyed working with people and trying to help what conditions they were going through, it was challenging, and it took an emotional toll. And so I've always had a passion for business, went to school for it. And so I was reached out by someone inside the company, and they told me about what the company was back in 2017. And I said, okay, well, let me take the weekend and do some research and figure out, I want to look at your market capture. I want to look at competitors in the market. I want to look at where you stack in competition. Spent the weekend, and I could not find a single company or entity that did what Fusion did.
Wow, that's
anywhere
special.
Across the internet. Couldn't find it. And so I was like, okay, this is something that I have to be a part of. And so I interviewed for it. They graciously gave me the position. No background in real estate, but background in business. And so I've appreciated the position because of the combination of the engineer mindset, the business mindset, and focusing on the partners' businesses as a business.
Oh, that's interesting. It's really refreshing to have you be part of this. I feel the same way about business. A lot of people don't see it as creative or interesting, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do. With my personality, I like having multiple things going on, right? So maybe it's like a deep-rooted ADD, but it's this constant activity and keeping my mind engaged in all these different aspects, because I don't have that personality that could sit in one spot and do one task for an extended period of time. I was that kid that would slowly migrate their desk out of the kindergarten door, and then I would be outside by the time the teacher caught me. So this line of work has suited my personality very well over the years.
Well, fantastic. It's incredible because Daniel and I are laughing because we're pretty close. We've known each other a long time, and we're laughing because we can identify with that. We talk a lot about like what kind of people we are. And I was telling Daniel beforehand that last time we met, you had a neck ache. And Daniel and I, we're always physically have some kind of physical challenge. So we were just like, we have a lot in common with you. And so we're resonating with that,
And that kind of leads me to my next question. Seeing as we have some traits in common, I wanted to ask you, what are some specific characteristics or traits that you have that also led you into your job? It's kind of connecting to the last question.
That's a good question. I have this genuine care for the people that I work with. I think maybe that's also the reason why Catherine and I connect really well. On the business side, and we just feel like we've known each other for years, is I genuinely care about the people that I work with and the businesses that I work with, and I see myself as a partner in their business. And so when you care about somebody at a certain degree, you have to have tough conversations from time to time, because if there was no care there, it'd be all just easy conversations. And so I think with my personality, I can have a more difficult conversation because I know that it comes from a place of caring and not from just a place of anger or frustration.
Wow, that takes a lot of skill. Yeah.
And compassion. You're like you said, you're wanting to help them rather than just helping them because it's your job. You're helping them because you want to actually help them from your heart. You actually care about them. So
yeah,
like that.
I really enjoy winning with my partners, and if they're not winning, then I need to figure out how we can do that, because then I lose with my partners. So
I noticed that you actually became I think you're co-vice president or something. Are you very high up in Fusion Growth Partners after only 3 years? That's amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was it 3? Has it been 3? Yeah, 3, almost 4 years now. I have this hedgehog mentality where just almost like a nose to grindstone mentality, where just keeping my head forward, pointed straight, keeping the ship moving forward, and just keep going. I've invested myself into the company in the beginning, and then now I think it's an investment of time with partners, time with training, time with execution and management and understanding the systems and processes, and then being able to really look at a partner's business and figure out what could be done better, or where there may be holes in the ship and how those could be fixed.
As a footnote, I'm very open to any of that from you. I'm much like you. If I'm not looking for something to do or doing something new, like we're talking about this new direction with possible change in the market, which is a lot of people are behind in their payments now. 17% of all FHA borrowers are more than 90 days late, which some people feel, including James over at Fusion, that's a telltale sign of a change in the market. So I'm looking at some new moves towards those people, multiple ways to reach out to people, multiple services. My strength is always the short sales. Many of my past clients I know through helping them with the short sales. So whenever there's a hardship, that's kind of where I show up. That's my strength. That's when I can just put on my cape and fly down and how can I help? Like, I really cry for them. I really show up for them. I really fight for them. That's where my strength always showed. Like, for 10 years, that's all I did. But you're looking at my house, whatever I have, really, whatever my good start was, it was all from the foreclosure market. We don't believe we're having foreclosure market, but we want to help people prevent any incident such as having to work with the banks, which is so hard. And now with the prices so high, to sell while it's high and get their equity out before they get into that harm's way. So yeah, that was my concept. We're brainstorming about that at this time, you and I. But that's the thing, like, I really feel passionate, like I just can't stand still. I have to be out in front of trends and I have to be successful, for you, for Daniel, for my family, for myself.
Yeah, and I feel that your success is going to continue to grow from the care and the compassion that you have for the people that you work with, and not just trends. So if you continue to focus on that care and compassion and provide it to as many people as you possibly can, and we can deliver that and share that with people, that's where the business is going to come from. And that's where you're going to enjoy the business the most too, because it's something that you just truly are passionate about. I mean, you have a love for it.
Well, I want to get to the next question now because we're running low on time. But so the next question I wanted to ask you was, what inspires you to keep working on your job even when you don't want to?
That's tough.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, it's tough. I've always had a feeling that it's equally as important to be able to put your work shoes on in the morning as it is to take them off at the end of the day. And so we have to be able, with I think all three of our personalities, we don't have a difficult time putting our hypothetical work shoes on in the morning, but taking them off at the end of the day and being able to disconnect, to recharge our batteries, spend time with loved ones, because the work will always be there. I think that's the most challenging part. So my biggest hurdle is taking those shoes off and being able to stop the work at the end of the day. There's always work that can be done that needs to be addressed.
Definitely. And it's great that you answered like that, because this actually leads on to my next question. It's kind of crazy how perfect you connected that there, because my next question I wanted to ask you was, how do you balance your time between work and family? You were just talking on the last question, your response was finding the way to disconnect after your work. So this kind of leads there now. How do you manage that balance there?
I would say over the years, I've found a way to build these end of day routines and processes that I know that if I do these certain steps, at the end of these steps, my laptop gets shut and I do not open it back up until the next day.
Right.
There was it Mel Robbins, I believe, that wrote the 5-second rule. I think it was Mel Robbins. It's 5-second rule. And it's this mental training exercise where you count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then whatever you are hesitant of doing, once you hit 1, you do it. Right? And you make that commitment to yourself. And so that's something that I was struggling with in the beginning, was having that disconnect. And so I would find myself in the couch, and then I would have to run back to the office because I would forget to do something. And then I'd run back to the couch or the dinner table, or I'd pull my phone out. And so the routines and processes helped a lot end of day. And then being able to make that commitment that once you do those, I have 3, but once you do those 3 routines, that's when it gets shut. And you make that commitment to yourself.
Okay. It's like systemizing yourself in your schedule.
And
Correct.
Standing up to yourself, really standing up to yourself, just going, what am I procrastinating about? Because procrastination is fear. So what am I fearing? And that's where that's why I pray a lot, meditate a lot. Daniel and I, we talk about that a lot, because I ask my God, what is it, that I'm afraid of confronting here. And then also gaining skills how to confront it. It's, you can confront that issue that you're procrastinating. Why are you procrastinating? Because you have fear, but maybe you have fear for a reason. So you have to know what that is and look within and then man up to it and really dig deep. And we've been talking about that, like really get in your gut and just dig deep. And he's been asking me like, well, what do you do in that situation? You look inside your soul. You look inside and you just dig deep and you go, I have the strength to do this. With God, God will meet me halfway. I have the strength to do this. So yeah, that's interesting. But it's important to honor that you've been procrastinating because you could say something wrong. You could do it wrong. So you have to honor that, but you can't let it overcome you. You have to do it anyway, like you said.
Yeah, taking personal responsibility. So if you're doing that dig, if you are digging deep, if you're doing that deep digging, that's a tongue twister. If you do that and you come to the determination that it's your responsibility,
right,
then you need to work through that, take on that responsibility, and then be able to correct it so that it doesn't happen again in the future. Now, when you go through that same type of internal
procedure,
deep digging, procedure, we'll call it procedure, and you come to the realization that it's out of your control, you have to be able to let go of that.
That's a great point, Patrick. Really great point. And that's about letting go at the end of night that Dan was asking about. You're talking about letting go to balance the full responsibility with the letting it go. If I'm fully responsible, especially as a broker, if I'm fully, and as a human being, fully responsible to my own success, at what point do I let it go? And I know we had a meeting about that about 2 weeks ago, I think it was Jeff Bezos talking about, or somebody was talking about, he's the leader of Amazon, talking about we're anxious because we haven't done something we should do.
Right.
But at what point do we need to let it go? Yeah, so we are getting to the moment that we need to wrap up the video, although I know Fusion will edit it if we've gone too long. Thank you for everything Fusion does for us, by the way, and all the wonderful videos. We're getting great feedback on the videos, and we love the videos.
Definitely.
We just love this channel, and we hope that everyone subscribes, by the way. Don't forget to subscribe, because without your support, we can't keep going on. So we need to know you like it, so please put subscribe on this show for us. And then, Patrick, so for our last questions, I have about 5,000 Facebook friends, and most of them are realtors. Sadly, I need to have more friends and family and I'm always working on that on my Facebook page. But in the meantime, I've got lenders and real estate professionals who'll see this on my Facebook page. And so is there some way that you personally want to reach out to them, maybe tell them what you're offering and what you can offer them?
Yeah, I think to summarize it would be hard to put into a nutshell, but if I was to summarize it, we're a business incubator, and we kind of run like a micro venture capital company. So what we ultimately do is we look for an agent that fits our philosophical beliefs on how we feel businesses should be ran. They're doing strong production. They want to still increase the amount of production that they do. And I could sit down with them, or one of the partnership development executives can sit down with them, and if we collectively feel that they fit our model, then we would actually invest all of our resources and staff into their business with the anticipation that the business will grow, and then we can share on the growth of the revenue as we're partners. A lot of the time is spent discussing the philosophical because we're not a fit for everybody, but we would always love to have that conversation. Because if there's agents out there that are working, doing everything themselves, they're doing good production, they're like, I want to grow more, but I don't want to try to interview or hire or train or manage, or I've gone that route and it's difficult because they leave or they're terrible. We're the other option, and we cash flow what we do, and that's where we make our investment. It's the investment of the resources and staff and systems and processes into the business.
Yeah. Well, we couldn't have done this show without you, and we really enjoy the partnership so far that we've experienced. And we hope to continue to grow and to improve and to have more to offer our clients. I feel that we do have more to offer our clients, the gift programs, the just the encouragement to spend more on the client, the full marketing, and also competing with the highest levels. I feel that now that we're partners, I feel that we're competing with the highest levels. I don't feel that any realtor offers more than what I offer now with Fusion. Yeah, because we have such a high profile marketing ability and so much support. And that's pretty much all that I have to say. Daniel, is there something you would like to say to our audience or to Patrick?
I would just like to say to Patrick, thank you for your time and your support that you've been giving us. And thank you for participating in this interview.
Thank you for being here today, Patrick. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much to our audience. Once again, please don't forget to call us on our cell phone. Daniel's number is
209-765-6194.
And mine is 209-988-1173. And I'm Catherine Knightsby, and this is
Daniel Salino.
And Patrick, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to our audience. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Live Guest Interview on Notes with Knightsby. And we hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week till then. So thanks again for joining us. And
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.
I'm beginning to see the light.